Everybody that I talk to in boxing, they want to know, what is Mark's story? Do you want to fight? Is your heart really in it? Do you want to get back to the top again? Can you do it? It's a lot of questions.
Right. Well, after the fight, I just took some time off. I don't know if the fight that I lost, the first fight, I don't know if I came back too early or whatever. It was a thing where, I said, well, I've been fighting for a long time now. I felt like I wanted to fight, then I didn't want to fight. So after I had to draw with Stallings the second time, I said, well, I'm going to take some time off, and if I feel like I want to fight again, I'll get back in there.
I was told that, and I remember reading, as a matter of fact, too, that your trainer, Joey Ferriola, you were driving him crazy. I mean, he said, you see you in the gym, and you look great. You're the killer. You're knocking guys out. Pop, pop. You get in the ring, and you seem to be indifferent. How do you explain that?
Well, what started happening was, mentally, I was losing edge mentally. I started to, when it's time, when it would be time to get in the ring, actually for the fight, I would lose concentration. My concentration would just snap. And I know right then and there, and it only happens on the way to the ring.
From coming out of the dressing room to the ring?
To the ring.
What do you start thinking about? Music?
It's like I walk out.
Bread and things like that, or what?
I started walking out, and I get into the ring, and like the last fight, I walked out, and I stood in the corner, and somebody said, "There goes Mr. T," and my whole mind just went. I was like, "Oh man!" And it was too late.
And that threw you off.
And that threw me off completely.
What about when Starling started hitting you? Didn't that bring you back? It would have brought me back. So
well, later on in the rounds, I started getting off late in the rounds, like 7th, 8th round, but it was too late, and I feel like my punches were just like something was holding me back.
The draw, this last fight, April 16th, the draw against Marlon Starling, I thought for sure you lost that fight. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was a close fight. I don't know. I wasn't outside looking at it.
True.
So I have a different point of view. But a lot of people say I lost. A lot of people say they thought I won. A lot of people said I thought it was a draw. I'm not the judge. I just do what I have to do.
It would seem like you have a long way to come back up in people's opinions, because HBO wanted to have your fight against Lloyd Hunnigan, and then they wound up nixing that fight. So I mean, it seems that you have a lot to prove right now.
Right. I don't mind having pressure on my back right now. That gives me something really to fight for. All my years in boxing, it was always Mark Breland, he's going to do this, Mark Breland, he's going to do that. There's nothing that I couldn't do. So now, there's a lot of people out there, that are saying, well, I don't think he can do this.
Well, do you think that's a function of maybe you had it too easy? Maybe you didn't go up against enough tough opponents on the way up?
Well, not that. I guess I can't. Well, I fought some tough guys on the way up. When I turned pro, everybody I fought were like 16-0, 17-0. So, they were opponents, and I feel they were tougher opponents than a lot of guys than the guys I fought in the amateurs. I think if I get in there just a little bit more, I think in the amateurs coming up and then starting in the pros, I think I took things too light because everything was going my way, and when it was time to really bite down, I didn't.
Still got time to make the comeback. We'll take a time out here, Coors Sports Night. Mark Breland with us. He's fighting August 11th. Who are you fighting?
I don't know the opponent yet.
You don't know the opponent yet? Neither do I, because Shelley wouldn't call me back. But we'll talk about that a little bit later here, Coors Sports Night from the Garden. At the Felt Forum, the exciting card features 3 10-round bouts with Lenny the Rage LaPaglia, Bobby Joe Young, and local favorite Seamus McDonough. Don't miss this top-notch Felt Forum boxing tomorrow, 7:30, right here on the MSG Network. Our topic is boxing right now, Coors Sports Night, and our guest right now, Mark Breland, the former WBA lightweight champion. The phone number 212-736-MSGN. Now, how long have you been in training for this August 11th fight?
Well, about 3 weeks now. I've been training and working with the weights right now. Just started back in the gym boxing. My first day was in the gym was yesterday. I boxed with 6 rounds. I feel pretty good.
I remember seeing you a couple of years ago at Sports Training Institute. You were working out. That weight training, the aerobics, etc., how much did that help you, if it did at all?
Well, it helped me a lot physically. Strength-wise, I feel very strong. I think in the last fight, I was basically working on just, overpowering him and without just using my head.
Starling is the type of guy who's a swarming kind of fighter. And had you ever fought anybody like that, say in the amateurs or early on in your pro career?
No, he's just very awkward. He's a very awkward fighter. Just, he seems like he doesn't give you enough shots, but you do get a lot of shots in.
That fight that you had down in South Carolina, that was the fight you said you came in, you weren't 100%, you were sick that night?
Right, I had a torn rib cartilage going into the fight.
And how did that happen again?
Boxing prior to the fight, I was sparring.
Yeah.
It happened 3 weeks before the fight, then I did it again. I got hit in another spot, and a week before the fight.
It's amazing how a turn of events happens. You were originally supposed to fight Tommy Ayers that night, and then Starling was substituted, and then you lost your title. Unbelievable. Take some phone calls here. 212-736-MSGN. You're up first. Your question on boxing is?
Yes. Am I live?
I should hope so. I didn't read the obit yet. What's on your mind?
Okay, I got a question for Mark Breland, please.
Go ahead.
I'm calling from Pennsylvania, and I saw Mark Breland win the gold medal in the 1984 Olympics. And I'd like to ask him, was he somewhat disappointed that the Russians and the Cubans did not participate in those Olympics, since they were the key countries for the boxing competition?
No, I wasn't disappointed because I beat the Cubans, I think, a month before the fight, before the Olympics, and I beat the Russians in the World Championships in '82. So I beat both. I beat the best fighters they had. So I feel if I'd have beat them then, I'd have beat them again.
The Russian fighters, they bring something a little bit different to the game than what you're used to here in the States. What would that be?
I think more just determination. When they lose, it's like, they go to camps, I guess.
Okay. Let's not even touch that one. Let's go to the next phone call. Good evening. You're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Proceed, sir.
Excuse me?
You're on.
How you doing?
Pretty good?
I got a question here for Mark.
Fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, just slowing the TV there. But anyway, Mark, I watched you through your amateur career and the Golden Gloves. You felt that you were peaking in the amateurs and maybe you're on a downfall? How do you feel about that?
Well, in the amateurs, I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, well, 21, 20. I'm only 25. I don't think I've, really peaked yet. I still have a long time to go. I don't think I'll be in boxing that long, but I don't think I've peaked yet.
How many more years do you plan to devote to boxing?
Probably a year or two.
A year or two, and then to get back to the acting career?
Definitely.
Have you been taking acting lessons here in New York?
Right, with Warren Robinson. Every Wednesday I go up to class, and I've been feeling pretty good with the acting. Things are coming along pretty good, so hopefully something, break through there. But I still desire the boxing. I'm still into it heavy.
Do you like, in the acting, the ability to be someone else than Mark Breland, and that's less pressure than you've had to deal with over the years? I mean, the expectations have always been so high, and now, you can play a role. You can be somebody from the 16th century, for crying out loud, and you can play another character, and the expectations, I mean, of course, everybody's going to say, hey, I hope you do a good job in this role, da-da-da-da, but It's a different type of environment, certainly, for you. How do you deal with that?
Well, I like that because, I can, portray someone else. I don't have to be myself all the time. And, if I want to act crazy, I can act crazy. My own life, out in the streets, if I do anything, someone looking, someone's, oh, I see Mark Breland do this, I see Mark Breland do this. But, on stage or in a movie doing some acting, I can do what I want to do because it's acting. So I can act crazy or act any way I want to act.
How long have you been doing the acting lessons now?
About 3 months now.
3 months. And where would you like that to take you? Broadway stage, TV, films?
I think films and TV. But I would do some stage acting. It doesn't bother me.
If you had your druthers, if you could have your pick of a TV or type of TV vehicle, what would it be? Cop show, comedy?
Probably a comedy show. I like comedy.
All right, maybe you can hook up with Eddie Murphy then.
Hopefully one of these days.
All right, take a phone call. Good evening, Mark Breland with us, and Mark, an aspiring actor, as well as aspiring to win back the lightweight championship. And we'll get to your call next. Hello, you're on Coors Sports Night.
Hello, Mark. How you doing? This is Bobby. Mark, I want to know, in that warm-up fight before the second Starling fight, you were all over this guy, and, you finished him early. In the second Starling fight, you seemed to fight more defensive, as if you didn't want to get hit. My question is, first of all, I have a lot of respect for you, a boxer. My question is, were you worried about getting hit by Starling, or do you think you have a questionable chin?
No, I mean, I took the thought was there, but I took his best shot, in the first round, and I just wasn't into it. I took his best shot, and I took it the whole fight. The guy before Stallings, I just went out there, and just hit him, and I knew he was scared. I told my manager and my trainers, I don't want to fight no more Mexicans, guys from Mexico, no names. I want to fight someone from the top 10, from 1 to 3, and hopefully, I'll get a better fight out of them.
You found yourself fighting down to that level?
Yeah, it's like you don't have to get up for the fight. It's just go out there and hit him because he's scared.
And you can see it. You've had a history of hand troubles. What's the latest with, as I remember, your right hand? You had a lot of trouble. Both of them then?
Right. Well, I started boxing the other day, and they're pretty sore today. Just first day boxing. But as the weeks go on, they'll recover easily. But after fights, they're just really banged up.
You need a lot of time to recuperate?
Right.
Take a timeout here, Coors Sports Night. Some boxing questions from the audience here for Mark Breland. And for the folks who are getting in line, guys who haven't been up yet, you get the first shot. Very slight chance from the U.S. team, you're saying? Okay, your question?
Yeah, how you doing, Mark? As you were growing up and getting started in boxing, who were your heroes? Who influenced you the most?
Well, this guy, God bless the dead, his name is Elijah Best. He's the one who really started me in boxing. But watching a lot of films and tapes with Sugar Ray Robinson.
Ooh, good choice there.
Mark, how do you compare the pressure before an Olympic fight as opposed to a professional fight?
I think the professional fight is a little tougher because you're going more rounds. But the Olympics, it's pretty big because it's something that no one can take away from you. I think the Olympics is, I would say the Olympics is bigger, not the professional.
Good questions here. What's yours?
Mark, I'd just like to get your opinion. Do you think that there's any boxer today that can step into the ring and beat Mike Tyson?
That's a tough question. Well, I see the only guy who has a chance right now is Evander Holyfield.
Yeah. You really believe Holyfield has a chance? Why is that?
Well, number one, he's not scared. Number two, he can punch and take a good punch. Just, how he carry that weight, that's the only difference.
And a key phrase there that you mentioned, he's not afraid. Take a phone call here for Coors Sports Night for Mike Breland, we should say. Good evening, you're on the air.
Yes, I have a question for Mark.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, I was wondering, similar to Roger Mayweather going from the junior lightweight to the junior welterweight, how successful he was, against Howard Brazier, showed endurance, heart, and a chin. I was wondering if you went up to the middleweights or even the junior middleweights that maybe you have the same success.
Well, hopefully, I guess after what we're trying to do now is get a fight with one of the top 10 guys, and then for October try to get a fight with Simon Brown, the IBF champion, and the winner will fight the winner between Stallings and Hunnigan.
Should be interesting. Your question, Val.
Yes, Mark. A couple years ago, you made that nice movie about the Virginia Military Academy. We had a very good role. Do you think that expanded your horizons and took your mind off boxing a little bit at the time?
No, that was back in '82. That's a while back. No, not at all.
Any feature films in the offing coming up soon?
No, not right now. Hopefully, I would like to get a shot at the Sugar Ray Robinson story when it comes open.
Ooh, that'll be good. Good luck on that.
Thank you.
Good luck. Your question.
Yeah, Mark, what do you think about George Foreman's return to the ring?
Not much.
Not much. All right.
Guy,
real quick,
big guy.
Your question.
Are all you Olympians still close-knit as you were before?
Oh yeah, definitely. We, come to each other, fight. We support each other.
Take a phone call here from Mark Breland. We're in our final minute or so. Hello, you're on the air. What's your question? Make it quick, please.
Hi, yes, this is George. I just like to say that Mark looks great, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Okay, what's that, your girlfriend? Okay, so she says. So she says. Okay, well, I hope that everything's fine then. Mark, we're out of time, we're told here, and we appreciate you coming in. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And best of luck on your fight coming up on August 11th.
Thank you very much.
And don't lose your concentration this time, all right?
You got a point there.
Don't pay attention when somebody says Mr. T's in the audience. We want to thank that's what he said earlier. We want to thank our guests for this evening, Giants defensive coordinator Bill Belichick, Mark Breland, Tommy Hutton, the Yankee radio play-by-play man, and Michael Kay and Michael Martinez, some beat writers from the Post and Times, respectively. I'm going to Indianapolis beginning tomorrow for about 10 days. The Indianapolis, the American, what is it? Let me get it straight. The American Track and Field Trials, U.S. Olympic Track and Field Trials. Monday, Mike Breen makes his debut here at Coors Sports Night. Yeah, Mike, get a shot of Mike Breen. He's right over there. Mike will be with you Monday, and Wednesday you'll have Bruce Beck sitting in, and I'll be back for the show on July 25th. And so we've got some good things coming up for you on WNBC Radio following this show, Sports Night on WNBC with Pat Harris. So we want you to stay tuned for that. And thanks so much for watching us. And we want to thank all the people who came down to the Hall of Fame Club tonight. It's been a fun night. We'll do it again real soon.